All right, you guys, we are live once again. We're going to try this again with Heidi Powell. She had to drive to a better location where there's better service. So we'll bring her on in just a second. So I apologize for those first world problems that we all experienced, but you know what? We're going to make it through. We're going to be okay. So as soon as Heidi Powell joins us, we'll bring her back on. You guys can ask your questions. We will kind of follow up with her to see how her Starbucks run went. And then we'll go from there. So thank you guys for being patient. Thank you guys for joining. And I'll bring her on in just a second. So thanks for your patience, you guys. And if you guys have questions for me to ask her, please feel free to ask them in the comments. I'll try and read them to her if you guys have questions for her. So anyways, she's jumping in right now. She said that she has 4 bars, you guys. So let's see. Did you see the announcement of schools closed until May 1st in Utah? No, I did not see that. That's going to be kind of crazy. So I better get paid a teacher salary then if I'm going to be a teacher and a dad. Just joking, obviously. Let's see if Heidi is on. Heidi Powell, are you there? She's not there yet. She'll be jumping on any second. So anyways, you guys, if you haven't been following me the past few days, I've been bringing on people, friends of mine, because I want to bring someone on to bring some positivity into this world. Because right now, if you turn on the news, you guys, it's not a lot of positivity. It's pretty negative. So I wanted to bring some friends on, talk about some things they're doing to stay positive that can be applicable to you and I, and that hopefully that way we can all feel connected. We are still growing and learning from each other. So that's why I want to bring people on. Yesterday I had JP Sears. Hold on a second, Heidi. Let me figure out how to bring you on. Okay, I see Bruce Pitcher on. Heidi Powell is struggling. Let me see if I can bring you on. Just a second, Heidi. Let's see. I don't want to report your comment. How do I add Heidi? No. You should be able to request to join me, Heidi. There should be a little face icon at the bottom. There should be a little face icon, I believe. There we go. Hold on a second, Heidi. Come on. Oops, sorry about that. How did that happen? Hold on a second, Heidi. Boom. Unable to join. Why can't Heidi join me? Hold on a second. Try it again. Do it again, Heidi. We figured it out, y'all. Thanks for your patience. She's going to be joining me any second now.
Oh, no, I'm here.
There you are.
I'm here.
You're here.
Do you know, it's so weird. Well, you were saying unable to join and it was saying joining. You know what's weird? I don't have the little face icon until now. Like now that
Really?
I'm on here with, yes.
Oh, wow.
There was no button I could push on this thing. I had to like wait for it to like randomly ask me in the feed. But we're here. We made it work.
Yes, you're here. Do you have your Starbucks? Are you good to go?
You better believe it, Drew. I got it right here.
So what are you going to do when Starbucks shuts, like what if they can't serve coffee anymore? What are you going to do?
So that's a really good question. And I found myself wondering that today because so I did a workout. And usually after my workout, I go fuel up with that's like when my Marshmallow Dream Bar comes in. The first Starbucks I went to was actually closed. Even the drive-through was closed. Yes. But most of the ones close to me, it's like the drive-through and you have to like drive far away and they'll hand it to you through the window. So I really today, for the first time right before this live, I was like, I got to figure out how to enjoy my own at-home brewed coffee. I'm going to have to get green straws and all sorts of things so I can like feel like the barista made it for me.
Yeah, so tell us about your Starbucks routine. Where did that start?
Yeah.
Why do you order iced coffee in a Marshmallow Dream Bar? When did that start? And why did it become a habit?
Yeah, those are all really good questions. So I think most humans are addicts by nature.
Yeah.
I do. I think we're all addicted to something. Some people it's work, drugs, sex. For me, my workout, whatever it is, my healthiest addiction is Starbucks. So as you know, Drew, I had an eating disorder that was, I
Yeah.
mean, a decade long, and started when I was 14 or 15 and went well into my 20s. And it wasn't until I started getting past my eating disorder and working through it when I realized you can't just pull an addiction away. And
Yeah.
maybe some scientists somewhere have other research saying otherwise, because there's always something proving otherwise.
Yeah.
But for me, I knew that I needed to replace my addiction. And that's kind of with the people on the show that we work with. We worked on replacing their addiction. It's not like, hey, we're just going to pull food away from you forever and ever. No, okay, what is something that we can plug in? You need something to occupy your mind, to give you that fulfillment, to give you that peace and comfort. And for me, my Starbucks, and I heard you saying it when I dropped off. You said, you guys, she barely drinks any of it. And it's
It's
true.
so true.
It is so true. But for me, there's something so comforting about it to me. It's like, it's my routine. It's every day. I can't rely on anybody else most of the time. I mean, I can. There are people I can rely on, but for the most part, it's like I can rely on myself and I can rely on my Starbucks. And now Starbucks is about to betray me. I'm so sad.
I know
If they
people are
close.
saying in other countries it's shut down, like in the UK and Toronto.
Oh, no.
But you know what's interesting for me is I grew up not drinking coffee because I was taught that it was a sin and that
Yes,
it's
me
bad for
too.
you.
Yeah,
So
us
for me, I
Mormons.
didn't. Yeah, I did. We grew up Mormon. So for me, I would never had coffee, and now that I do drink coffee, I
Yeah.
love it. And for me, it's so surprising that you only drink like a sip, maybe a sip. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna spend money on the coffee, I'm going to drink every last drop because I feel like I'm catching up for those lost times.
Well, I know. I think if you add up my sips, though, it's kind of, so they do this thing at Starbucks where if you get a refill, the same
Yeah.
visit, it's like 50 cents. And if you have a black
Mm,
card, which I'm a black card holder,
yeah.
Starbucks, it's free. So for me, I do get a lot of free refills, which is great. So if you add up my sips, it's like over the course of the day, I feel like I'm drinking more than a couple sips. But
So really quick, I wasn't planning on going into this, but people are asking about us
yeah,
being Mormon and growing up
yeah.
Mormon. So maybe tell us a little bit about your backstory, because some people probably didn't know you were Mormon or religious at all, or what a little bit about that. You don't have to go into great details, but maybe a little bit about your background.
Yeah. So like you, Drew, I was raised Mormon here in Arizona. Let me take my seatbelt off. I'm in a safe parking lot, guys. Um, no one's going to hit me. There's nobody in this
Exactly.
parking lot. We are very socially
That's good.
distant here in
Good.
Arizona. um, so yeah, I was raised in Arizona, Mormon family. I have, my dad was actually Mormon, converted my mom. And then as, a result, all four of us kids, me and my three brothers were raised Mormon. I wouldn't say, I think, Drew, you had more of a religious family, like deeply
Yeah.
religious family, right? From what I
Yeah.
remember talking to you about.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't so much that way because they were, and we were at church every Sunday and we did every mutual event, and my brothers were Eagle Scouts and we participated in every calling that we had. But my parents also were very lenient because my mom was a convert to the church, and
Mhm.
they were very much like, hey, you don't drink, you don't have coffee, we don't do this and that, but we're a family, so family time means going out on Sunday sometimes. And
Yeah.
my grandparents were Catholic, my mom's mom and dad, and we were in a weird way raised in bars. So every summer we would go to California with them, and they would bring us to the bars, and it was very wholesome. But it was like my parents were so good about saying, hey, just because you're Mormon doesn't mean you're perfect, or just because you're not Mormon doesn't mean. So they were like, hey, everybody's equal, no matter the
Yeah.
religion, no matter their beliefs. Like, a good person is a good person. My dad would say it doesn't matter what you do on game day. It's the 6 days leading up. It's how are you
Mhm.
practicing during the week. That's what really tells the kind of person that you are. Because if you're not practicing, you're going to show up on game day on Sunday and it's going to be phony. At some point the truth is going to reveal itself. So while I grew up in a Mormon upbringing, it was, I believe my parents were more involved in the church for structure,
Yeah.
which, because as you know, like, there's some great teachings. I think any religion has some really good teachings when it comes to family and just structure. And we're all trying to preach the same thing. It's just religions each have a different way of saying it. And so, yeah, just over time, my parents, when we got out of the house and started having kids, all three of my brothers went on a Mormon mission. I was married in the temple to my first husband, but over time, I think I just started. It's not that I think I would still actually consider myself Mormon. I just don't go to church. You know,
Yeah.
if I was to choose a religion, because there's so much comfort for me and peace and like family, but I just don't. I feel like my church is my home, and
Yeah.
if I have a spare 3 hours or however long it is now, I want to spend it loving on my babies and teaching them what's right.
I love that. Someone asked you to repeat the game day quote that your dad said.
Yeah, my dad would say it doesn't matter. Shoot, what was the quote? What did I say, you guys? Somebody help me out.
Something about game day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter who you are on game day if you're not practicing all the days leading up to. So in other words, you can't just show up for church on Sunday and say your prayers and read the Bible and act like you're perfect if who you're being on Monday through Saturday is someone completely different.
Yeah.
Like what really matters the most is who you are those 6 days a week leading up to game day. And then really
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about athletes, they don't just show up on the field and play their best game, you know? It's like they work their buns off. They practice and they are a good person. They're a good athlete. They have great work ethic all during practice season and off season. Then they show up and they're amazing on game day and it shows, you know?
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. So like you, I grew up very strict Mormon, or except for me, like we were really strict. Like I couldn't go out on Sundays. I couldn't go to restaurants. We couldn't go play with friends on Sundays. Luckily, my parents did let us watch football on Sunday. So
game day.
Yeah, exactly. Game day. So we showed up on game day. That's for sure.
Good.
But you know what's interesting is you know, I don't really talk a ton about growing up Mormon, and I don't talk about religion a lot. But for me, I've transitioned out of the church. Both me and my ex-wife Lynn, we both left around the same time as we were going through a divorce. So those are two major identity shifts. One, divorce. Two, leaving a religion at the same time. So for me, I really had to pick myself up from rock bottom and discover who I was. And now that I know who I really am without religion telling me who to be, I like who I am, you know, for the first time in my life. And it's really opened up my eyes to the importance of living an authentic life. Because I feel like if you just grow up, you know, being told who you're, or being who you've been told to be your entire life, you never really discover who you are. And so for me, I have nothing bad to say about the Mormon religion or the way I grew up, because it provided a lot of morals and values that I still believe in to this day. But it, you know, where I'm at now, it just it doesn't fit where my beliefs are right now, and that's okay. So,
I love that. I do love
appreciate
that.
You sharing that.
Yeah, and actually, so when I started dating Chris is actually when I stopped going to church as much. But what's crazy about it? So I met Chris, and I was still going to church. I was still practicing, and Chris was the one that was like, he said, hey, if I was ever to join a religion, it would be the Mormon religion. And when you meet Chris, you kind of are like, oh, you're Mormon. You just kind of like automatically assume he's Mormon. He's more Mormon than I am, and he's never been Mormon. What do they call them? Dry Mormons or something?
Yeah.
Just such a good guy. And it was when he started kind of diving in and talking about it, I realized Chris, as a non-Mormon, knew more about my religion than I did. So I actually took the missionary discussions after Derek and I divorced, as I was kind of hanging out with Chris. Chris and I weren't really dating at the time, because I thought, I need to understand what it is that I am saying that I believe in, because I don't even know. And, you know, like you, but gosh, I can't imagine what that was like for you to go through a divorce and choose to leave the church at the same time, where for me, I don't think I ever really chose to leave a church. You know, for me, I went through a divorce and I found something that almost replaced religion in my life, and that was my mission with Chris. And so that there was a my void was filled right away. I had that purpose, but I can definitely like put myself in your shoes and just imagine how difficult that could have been or would have been for you. But yeah, it's like you can't really figure out who you are or who you are meant to be until you strip away everything that's told us for so many years who you need to be.
Yeah, it definitely is a scary process for some people, because you step outside that comfort zone. You've had that structure your whole life of like, hey, this is your safe space, stay in this space. don't go outside. But then that's kind of where the growth happens, to be totally honest with you. And it was
Yeah.
scary and hard, but now I'm in a much better place. But shifting gears, because we have a lot of people, on here from home, and I want to know
Hi guys.
so how has coronavirus affected the Power Pack? Are you guys doing okay? How has it, because you guys travel like every day, I feel like every day you're on a plane somewhere new. How has it
Yeah.
affected the Power Pack?
That's such a good question.
Mhm.
I I think you know this about me by now. Like you can
Yeah.
literally put me in any situation and I'm going to be like, it's so amazing and it's so great and so much fun. I'm kind of a
Yeah.
chameleon, like
Yeah.
where whatever place I'm in, I'm like, oh my gosh, I only want to be here. I don't want to be anywhere else right now.
Yeah.
And that goes for this. Like I know when I was traveling a lot right before, and there was talk that like, oh my gosh, the airports might get shut down, or it might not be safe to travel. There was a part of me that was like, no, like I love that. This is my life. I love going from here to
Yeah.
here. I was going to take the kids to Utah. We were going to spend a full week up there. But it's like, as soon as I can accept the reality of, okay, this is my new reality, I'm good. I
Yeah.
really do I love being home more with the kids. And I feel like I've been like praying and hoping for years, maybe a decade. Like, gosh, I wish the world would slow down so I can catch up. Like,
That's true.
don't you ever say the world needs to freeze so I can move and everyone else can stay put? And I kind of feel like, granted, I would never want this tragedy and all that's happening.
Yeah.
I don't wish that upon anyone. I hate that people are having to experience what they are, but I
Yeah.
guess digging deep and finding the silver lining in this, because there is silver lining to everything. There's a there's a rose in every thorn bush. Um, it is causing me to get more time with my kids. It's causing the
Yeah.
world to kind of pause so I can catch up. I can spend more time on here with you guys, the people watching and listening. So it's all a perspective thing. And I'm choosing to see the best. We are good. Chris made a comment the other day. He's like, it is interesting to be quarantined with Chris. I'm not going to lie. We're like, because he and I, sorry, there's a really weird light.
Uh,
In our 11 years together, we have barely been in the same place for like longer than 5 days together.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're always like split. And so suddenly we're like stuck together. And Chris is like, there's either going to be a lot of babies in 9 months or a lot of divorces in 9 months.
Divorces.
I don't know which one it is. And it's true. It's true. I'm wondering where we're going to fall.
Yeah, you never. Yeah, there's still time. We're only 1 week into this. They're
We are.
predicting
We
best
are.
case scenario 2 months, but
Is that
that's
what
so
they're saying?
interesting. Yeah, it's so interesting because
Wow.
I'm friends with both you and Chris. I see you guys' lifestyle from an outside perspective. I relate to it in some ways because I travel a lot for work too. But I just,
Yeah.
that becomes part of your identity. And like you said, this is forcing the world to slow down a bit.
Yeah.
Less going out to the airports, less traveling, less driving places, being social. But at the same time, we get to choose our perspective. And that's what I like
Yes.
about you, Heidi, is that you are choosing to see this as a positive, as a blessing, possibly, instead of the world doom and gloom, the world's going to end, fear, anxiety,
Yeah.
panic, buy all the toilet paper, buy all the hand sanitizer, or like, how can I grow from this? How can I see this as a positive? And you spending time with your kids, because man, you guys have such a hectic schedule.
I
Yeah, you guys
know.
are having to split time with the kids, as far as like, hey, Chris, you go do this show. I'll stay back and watch the kids, make some content here. We'll switch places, So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's, yeah. But I do think it's funny. Yeah, a lot of people. There's gonna be a lot of babies made, or a
There
lot of
are.
divorces happening.
Christmas babies. I was doing the math. It'll be Christmas time. We're
Christmas
gonna have a
time.
big baby boom,
It's so true. I
depending
did
on when you're
post.
fertile.
I don't know if you saw my fake news post about how constant sex kills the
Yes.
coronavirus.
I
And
actually
so
almost took it to Chris. I'm like, check this out. Check this out.
it's science, you can't.
You can't argue with.
Yeah. How about your kids, Heidi? How are your kids handling this situation? Are they loving it? Are they hating it?
Sorry, there's a weird delay. Can you see me okay right now?
Yeah. How are your kids handling this? Are they loving it? Are they hating it?
They're actually loving it. I don't know. What kid wouldn't love not going to
Not
school?
going to school. Yeah.
That's all.
Or church. No
Or
church, no
church. I
school.
know. They're just like, for them, they wake up and they think it's a free for all until they remember, okay, mom's going to make me do like 3 hours of chores. I'm going to have to read. I'm going to have to. Our schools here don't yet have like and maybe they do, and I just haven't seen the email yet, but they're not. Today's technically Maddox's first day back from spring break, so we're actually just getting in
Oh,
the groove. I'm sure pretty soon though it's going to be full on homeschool for my kids. So then I'm going to be the one suffering.
Yeah, exactly. What are some things you guys have done to switch up maybe your food, for example? Like, let's say, is it the same food, or are you guys kind of getting creative with your food stores that you have inside the house?
Here, let me move to an area where I don't have this weird glare on my face.
Okay.
Can you see me okay now? There
Yeah, I
we
can see you
go.
perfectly fine.
Nice, even
It's all
lighting,
about the
even lighting.
filter, the
It
lighting.
is.
I get it.
It is. I have Valencia on me right now. I'm kidding. So some things to change up food. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm not a chef. I am. I just haven't been doing a ton of cooking since I married Chris. It like literally I went from being a domestic housewife with Derek
Yeah.
to a whole different world where I was, because I tend to become, it's that chameleon in me. I become whatever the person that I love wants me to be instead of being who I am. So, and for Chris, I was a career woman that raised a family but didn't cook. So this has actually forced me. I've cooked more, Drew, in the past week than I have in my entire marriage to Chris.
Really?
Every day. Every day. I'm
That's so
cooking
funny.
enchiladas, stew, French toast, some kind of casserole. Like I'm suddenly a domestic diva goddess again.
I love it. I love it. And I love that you're on TikTok now. Like, seeing your TikTok videos are so funny.
I'm having way too much fun with it.
Do
Way
your
too
kids
much
help
fun.
you? Do your kids help you with the videos? I saw Maddox in one of them with the
Oh,
flip the switch one. That was very clever.
yeah. So actually, my kids have like forced me into every TikTok so far. Like every day, it's all that they want to do. And I would dread it for a while. I'd be like, oh my gosh, Marley, I cannot learn dances that fast. I'm really bad. And then I do it. I'm like, oh, like I can
Yeah.
do this. And then I saw the J-Lo and A-Rod flip the switch challenge.
Yes.
And Maddox and I have been talking about that one for about a week and a half now. And finally, I'm like, we're stuck inside. Maddox is like, I'm going to get your bikini. We're doing this right now. And his was like one take. Like on the first take, he's like, oh my gosh, I nailed it. I nailed
Yeah.
it. This is it.
But it's so cool. When are we gonna see Chris on some TikTok videos? Because I know he's got some
Well,
dance moves.
oh, he does. So I just posted a TikTok last night that has Chris in it. He's doing some shimmy at the beginning. So go over to
Okay.
TikTok. You got to check it out. Or I hear you have a really good flip the switch challenge too.
I heard it got some pretty good feedback. I'm just saying, it got some pretty good feedback. So we'll see. I think J-Lo and A-Rod got the idea from us, and then they stole it.
That is amazing. Is it you and Julie doing it?
Julie's the creative one. She's kind of like she's the more the creative one that kind of like, hey, let's do this. I'm like, all right. So we got another one coming out tonight. We'll put a new one out tonight. So you guys watching, you got to watch out for that one because it's gonna be really funny. Just think cowboy cowgirl. That's the theme. Cowboy cowgirl.
Oh, whoa.
Could be a good one. Well, it's gonna be PG rated. So it's gonna be PG rated, but that's the theme. Sorry about that.
I think the proper term is a new one's gonna drop tonight. So I learned that
There
from
we go.
Maddox. He's 15.
See,
A new
I'm learning
TikTok's
these
gonna drop tonight. They do like that.
Yeah, do like that. We gotta learn from these teenagers.
I know. And by the way, can I just say, and I know I texted you and Julie the other night.
Yeah.
You guys are the cutest ever.
Thank you.
You guys are
so
so, I mean, I love watching your relationship. It's so cute.
You're so nice.
You can just tell that you have fun together.
We do. We do have a lot of fun together. And during quarantine, it's like you're forced to be creative because you can only,
Yeah.
for her, she does have to go into work still because she has a family business. So she has to work during the day. But when she comes home, it's like, I don't have the kids this week. So it's like, what am I going to do?
You're going to make a baby, Drew.
I did show her that fake news from CNN. I was like, hey, what do you think about this? We got to stay safe. So
That's when you know you got the right girl. She just jumped on board with you.
Yes. She's
it.
awesome. But anyways, Heidi, I want to let you enjoy your Starbucks because you got to take at least one sip of it,
Hold on. Here we go. Here we go.
Okay. And the one sip and you're done. Okay. Don't
All right, I'm done. Let's throw this away. Throw it away.
Throw it away. And I tried to convince Heidi to try cold brew instead of iced coffee, but she still hasn't made that switch.
I know. I did yesterday because they were out of iced coffee yesterday.
okay.
So I did cold brew. it's a little too sharp for me.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
Sharp.
It's like,
Sharp?
yeah,
Did you
that's,
say sharp?
yeah.
What does
I
that?
don't
I'm
know.
trying to think what that means in terms of flavor. It's a sharp, like sharp cheddar cheese, like
Yeah.
sharp. It's
Yeah.
too sharp.
Like a knife right down my throat, Drew.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, enjoy your iced coffee and whatever else you got. I don't know what else you got. White
They,
mocha frappuccino.
I got iced coffee, but this is going to wait because I'm going to go home and I'm going to do a protein shake first. And
Yes.
then I'm going to do my marshmallow dream bar.
Yes, and by the way, holy crap! Congratulations on your whole line of supplements. Like they look
Thank
amazing. You
you.
got a pre-workout now. You got a whey protein isolate now. You got what else? You
Yes.
got? Talk about that.
Yeah, so we actually the whey protein just came out, but we have the low carb meal replacement shakes. They're my
Okay.
favorite. Anytime I would have done whey protein before, I actually do the low carb meal replacement shakes. Do you not have any? Do I need to send you some?
I don't have any.
Oh
I
my
have,
gosh.
yeah, I don't have
They're
any new ones.
so you're gonna die.
But
You are
but
gonna die.
I know the person that formulates or helps formulate for you guys, so I know the
Yes.
flavors are on point.
They
So
are so good. Yeah, we have pre-workout caffeinated, the non-stim. We're coming out with creatine. We have a
ooh, what?
probiotic now. We have,
Whoa.
yes, I know, multivitamin,
Okay.
BCAAs. I'm going to send you a whole care package.
Okay.
You will love them. I'm telling you.
Okay. Please do. Much love, much respect to you
Thank
and the
you.
family. Heidi, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have to do this again.
Yes.
Especially, you know, who knows how
We
long
have
this
nothing else to
quarantine is.
do in
We have
that
nothing
time,
else
so.
to do. But I appreciate you coming on, making us laugh, making us smile. That's what this is all about. I know that this is a serious issue and there are serious things happening, but
Yeah.
you can't laugh about it a little bit. Like it's, you know, life's too short. So thank you so much for
I
bringing it out
agree.
to my face and to so many other people's faces because
Oh.
your laugh is contagious.
Thank you. Thank you, Drew, so much. Thanks for having me on. Let's do it again.
Yes,
Now
we
you need
will.
to do it on my page next time.
Okay, you let me know when. I'm
Okay.
down. And by
Okay,
the way,
done.
everyone, Chris is coming on tomorrow. So stay tuned for that one. I'm
Oh.
bringing on Chris tomorrow. So we'll talk about some TikTok videos.
Get him going.
Exactly.
Thank
Okay.
you, Drew.
Is this how you do
Bye,
it?
guys. Thank
See,
you.
Heidi? Is this how
Peace
you do
out.
it?
Peace out. Just like that.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.